Hey guys, happy Friday, May 3rd. Want to just wish you all a good weekend and another work week. Just a few things that came up that I wanted to share with you all that I thought were um, worth listening to. Anyway, tomorrow, to those of you that know that tomorrow's a pretty big day. I'm a real big fan of horse racing. I don't know anything about the local tracks, but the big three races starts the Kentucky Derby. I think it's the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. Race goes off sometime probably around 6 to 6:30 tomorrow evening. Um, if you're not a big, if you've never given it a chance, watch the Derby. It's 2 minutes of some of the most exciting sports you'll see. The human element is taken out of it for a large part. It's animals and you don't have personalities and petulance and things like that, and it's remarkable. In fact, I'm going to try to post a couple of horse races on my site later. There's one that's a real funny race, and the way the track announcer calls it. Another's probably the greatest race of all time, in my opinion. I'll try to post them for you guys. So anyway, tomorrow's the Kentucky Derby. The kids and I usually make a big deal of it. I usually play their birthdays and they take some fun. My pick this year is the 8-horse Tacitus. So we'll see how that goes. So that's something coming up this weekend. Something else I wanted to share with you guys before I get to some real good uh, content or context, I guess maybe, in terms of our journey and the point of thumb message and things like that. Let me talk about one other thing. I've been sharing with a lot of people some of the stories, and one of the questions that I get asked sometimes is you know, how did I deal with either people with religion or politics? And if you know me, I respect both, and I don't really speak a whole lot um, on politics in particular. Um, I readily admit I don't claim to understand politics by choice. Uh, it's one of those things that there is no black and white. It's not objective. It's subjective to your personality, your point of view, and but I always look to find ways to express or communicate with my children. And something came up yesterday. I watched a movie called The Ides of March. Some real big stars in it: Ryan Gosling and George Clooney, the two of them. But and it was a little slow moving at first. Philip Seymour Hoffman, who committed suicide at some point, but one of the greatest actors of our time, I think, was in it. But if you ever want to understand why I hate politics, if you ever want to be able to, for me, it's the perfect um, way. If my kids were to say to me, "Dad, why do you hate politics so much?" is to just share this movie with them. Uh, like I said, I'd seen the movie advertised. I never really paid much attention to it. Um, it it's it was really pretty brilliant, but not so much in terms of the movie making, but it was the um, quintessential reason why I have a disdain for politics. So if you got some time on your hands coming up and you get a chance, watch the movie The Ides of March with Ryan Gosling, George Clooney, Philip Seymour Hoffman, another great actor. Paul Giamatti. So there's some great actors, and they play the roles fantastic. But let me get along to something that makes my day. It is what the journey was about. So on the journey, one of my maybe the most memorable uh, experience I had in terms of personal education, growth, knowledge, was learning about something called the honor flight. I had seen it on a. See, my dog's over here eating grass. Hey, come on, stop eating the grass, please. Um, the other one's over here. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, I had seen something called the honor flight on an episode of NCIS, and Gary Gartrell's a gentleman I never knew before, but a fascinating man, and I consider a friend. And he took his time, his own personal time, to show me around Illinois, and he took me to Honor Flight Chicago, and I met the director, and it's an amazing nonprofit. And what they essentially do is they take. Um, I don't do it justice when I'm telling you about it, and I guess that's what I wanted to share with you guys. They take war veterans, servicemen. They fly them to D.C. And they're accompanied by an active military person, and they get to go see the monument or the memorial to the war they served in, whether it be World War II or Korean War. Or, I'm not sure if they're doing Vietnam now, but it's hearing when someone's so passionate about something and they convey it. It's moving. I mean, I was moved to tears watching. If you get a chance, Google honor flight and see what this takes place. And I vowed that I wanted to share this experience with my children when I found out about it on the journey. And I've been so busy, I haven't gotten there yet. Things are starting to settle down. Part of the challenge I have is where I live is, I think, so close to DC. I don't think there's a lot of honor flights from my general area. But on my journey in a town called Fort Haven, Indiana, um, I met Debbie and Mike. I call him Mr. and Mrs. Gibbs because he reminds me of Gibbs from NCIS, as a matter of fact. Wonderful folks, and we've stayed in touch. But Debbie sent me a text the other day that I wish I could convey to you guys what it said, but essentially she was able to take part in an honor flight, and to have her text it, I had tears rolling down my face, seeing her energy, her passion, explaining how uh, the parade essentially of people that greet these servicemen when they get off the plane, thanking them for their service, and it is life changing for these men and women, particularly at the latter part of their lives. Most of these folks are, in their 80s, and the whenever you can do something for somebody. Um, Part of what set me on my journey, as I've talked about, is we all seem to kind of have this circle of 10 that we're great people too, and we just have this disinterest, disregard for the rest of our humankind. As I've said often, we'll stand in line at a convenience store, at a mini mart, and completely ignore the person to our right and to our left. I don't know if it's because we're afraid to get to know them or they care, or that think they might ask us for something. I don't know. But giving back selflessly is an amazing thing. And these service people, how they served our country, and to be rewarded with that. And to the person, from Scott and Kelly Rice, and what they shared with me also out of Indiana, and then Debbie's text meant the world to me, because I literally lived the experience through her text. And she says it happens fairly frequently, and I shouldn't say frequently, but out of the Fort Wayne, Indiana airport. And it's definitely going to be something that I share with my children. So just as a point of reference, if you get a chance, one is, please share stories with me and our PTT family. We're still going pretty strong. We still have 1,900 plus followers. And this is the kind of thing that I want to take, nationally, if not globally, here in the short future. But I need you guys to share those stories. It's an amazing charity, nonprofit gesture, what they do for these folks. And so thank you, Debbie, for sharing it with me. Thank you to everybody that's participated in one. I can't wait to get out there with my kids. But do yourselves a favor. Take 3 minutes, Google honor flight, take a look at it. Get a chance to watch the Kentucky Derby this weekend. Take a look at it. It's a great thing to do with the family. There's 20 horses typically. This year, 2 got scratched, one backfilling, so there's 19 horses. But you get together with your family. You don't have to know anything about horses. You pick a number, you watch 2 minutes, you cheer together. It's a lot of fun. With my family, we make something out of it, like whoever comes in the lead, gets to pick the movie that night or something like that. And it's a great sporting event. It's on my bucket list of something I want to do in person, and get out there one day. And then lastly, like I said, to those of you that like to just not go through life, burning time, but like to learn or get a different perspective on things. You know, whether you are political, whether you're not political, watch the movie The Ides of March. Um, you know, it is literally, to me, brilliant filmmaking in the sense of it's the quintessential, that captures the quintessential embodiment of, in my opinion, maybe the soullessness of politics. But it's a great movie, and it's one I'm considering sharing with my kids this weekend. There's one adult topic in there that may not be appropriate, so I'm kind of wrestling with that. But yeah, so anyway, thanks guys for following. Happy weekend. It's Friday. I'll be back. My son's got a baseball tournament in Maryland Saturday. Tomorrow morning I'm going to be in Maryland at 7 a.m. And then the next game's until 2:45. So hopefully we'll be home in time for the Derby. Enjoy it. Enjoy your weekend. Stay in touch with me and the family here. And thanks guys. Love you. Have a great day.